All right, how are you guys doing? Want to make a video here on Moderna Therapeutics. This is going to be ticker symbol MRNA. Now, if you're not familiar with Moderna Therapeutics, let me just give you a quick little background. So Moderna Therapeutics is looking at making a vaccine for the COVID-19. Now, currently they are in stage 2 trials, and coming in July, they're looking at late stage trials. But so far, it is pretty positive for their testing and trials. Now, they use specifically messenger ribonucleic acid to basically give the body's cells instructions on where to make proteins that will help to prevent or at least treat the disease. Now, messenger ribonucleic acid is can be shortened down and abbreviated to mRNA. So there you go. We're looking at Moderna Therapeutics, mRNA, messenger RNA. So let's go ahead and dive on into the chart. We have the yearly up here on the screen. This gives us a pretty good idea of how mRNA has been trading over the past year, and specifically, we're wanting to look at this recent price movement where we really accelerated from about $24 a share. We went all the way up, made highs around $87 a share, and then we sold all the way back down. But just as we finished out this week, we had a strong surge in buyers coming in and bidding up the price. So this gives us a nice long-term view of Moderna. Obviously, we have not been trading in these levels here as of recent, but really starting back here in late February and early March, we start to see that price increase. Now, if we're looking here at the 6-month 4-hour, this is what's really going to give us a little bit better view at these support and resistance levels from a long-term point of view. These are going to be a little bit more solid. So ideally, what saw the reversal was right in here at $45 a share, $46 a share. It was right in there. We saw this initial push, right? Again, this is in late February. We saw that initial push, and then from there, we just kind of fizzled around, and we had highs up here around $35, $36 a share. But we had a bit of an ascending triangle, something like that. And then we ended up popping through, and then we came up to this next stair step. So you can think we were down here. We stepped up to about 35 bucks a share, and then we stepped up from there, and now we had a support right around $45 a share, and then about a top in this little channel was right around $52, $53 a share here on the 4-hour time frame. And you can see we then broke through that, and we went on to make our highs. We also had a bit of a consolidation period right in here as well, in between about $62 a share and then up there towards about $68 a share, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But really what we were looking for is, as we were traced down from these highs, we grasped these, or we bounced off of these levels right in here around 68 bucks a share, but it really was a dead cat bounce. We saw a quick little bounce. It lasted about a day, up there to about $74 a share, and then we sold back down, ended up going down through that level, and that triggered another round of selling, and that really sunk the price over the span of just a couple of days. We traded from 67, 68 bucks a share all the way down, and we made intraday lows on this decline all the way down at $47 a share. So if we were looking back, let's say you had done some homework on this, you would have known that there were buyers that were sitting in here, and when you compare the time period, this was a smaller support. We didn't trade in this price point between, say, $62 and $68 for that long of a time. When you compare that time period to this time period, this is like 3 days or 3 or 4 times the trading time that we saw right in here in, say, early May. So this was a much stronger support. So as we quickly faded down, not only did we have a stronger support down here in between about $46 to about $52, we also started to see those shorts that were taking profits. This thing was moving down pretty quick. Shorts were taking profits, and I think that this all accumulated together, and we saw this very sharp reversal. We came down, and we bounced off about $47 and reversed back up really within a couple of hours. Now, we didn't end that day green, but it was a very sharp reversal, and you can even see it on the daily, what we were initially looking at, as we see this humongous tail on that day. And that was a bullish sign here on the daily chart that this thing could potentially reverse, and then we followed through towards the end of last week. So Thursday and then Friday, we saw a nice push higher. So now let's move this in a bit closer, right? Okay, so we'll start to see this even more clear. Here was our breakdown right through about that $67.50 price point. We broke down, here was the support that I was looking at in that little channel that we had. Ooh, let me click that down. So here was that little channel that we were looking at. We sold down after the break of 67.50. We sold down and then sold through the low. Literally no buyers really even stepped in, and we sold down through that. So at that point, my target was down here in the low 50s. I did not think that we were going to see quite a V-shape recovery here, but the buyers were there, and this thing just moves so quick. That's why you have to do your homework and really understand where these levels are if you want to go ahead and throw in an order at the lower end of this channel that maybe you don't catch it. Maybe you're not looking at it when the market's open, or you're looking at a different stock. You know, if you wanted to throw in an order, that could be a potential strategy that you incorporate into your trading. But nonetheless, it rocketed down. We didn't hit this lower bound right here at about $46 a share, but we were right in the low 46s. Our low was right around $46.15. We then saw buyers step in, traded right back through that $52 price point, and continued it into Thursday. And this is really what I was looking at. You know, we were making a lot of these gains in after hours and pre-market, and then slowly throughout the day, we were pretty much flat. Volume was kind of declining, but we were still seeing the price inch higher and higher. And any time that the price tried to scoot down, we saw buyers step in, and we are consistently making higher lows. So here we now have the 5-minute chart, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about. We saw that rally came all the way up to about $52 a share, and then after hours we pushed up a bit higher. Thursday's pre-market, we pushed even higher, but again, as we were moving down towards the end of the day, we made a higher low and pushed up right as we were closing. And then as we moved into Friday, again, we saw that price moving up. Pre-market pushed it higher. Throughout the day, we were pretty much flat. We were struggling to break through 58 as a resistance. That was just a hard level to break through. You can see here on Thursday. You can see on Friday. It was like watching paint dry. It was just terrible to watch this chart up until we had about 10 minutes, 15 minutes left in the day on Friday, and we broke through 58. Those shorts, to me, those shorts were getting out. We saw new buyers that were coming in. They saw the formation that was occurring on the 4-hour, how we had all those buyers step in down here in the low 46s. There was a solid support there. We reversed back up. We ended that downward trend, and buyers were flooding in. We had a sharp, it was like a 5% rally right at the end, broke us through 58. Honestly, I didn't think we were going to push much above $60 a share, as we had that, what I was looking at were these lows here from Tuesday, where we saw that bounce, and then we kind of fizzled down, and then that was the breakdown price on Tuesday. But we pushed through that. We made it all the way up to about 61.50 on Friday, and then we traded up after hours. So to me, this is a very bullish sign. Those shorts are kind of getting out. The trend is now reversing. We've had over a 20% move from these lows in the mid 46s, even 30% move from those mid 46s. So this thing is really starting to pick up momentum again. Now, that does not mean that you should just throw your money in. Again, we want to have a strategy that plays in our favor so that we can make the most of this opportunity. And while, yes, it has made a 30% move, that does not mean that this is going to continue to move to the upside, but it does show the signs that that could be the case. So with that being said, on the bullish side of this trade, let's say that we open up on Monday and we see this continue to push higher. What are going to be some levels of resistance? Well, obviously, to me, right in here at $67.50. This is where the top of the channel was just a couple of weeks ago, and then that was the level of support as we were coming back down. That was very pivotal to the price point, and once we broke down through it, you saw a very rapid sell-off. So as we push up through this trading, I'll really be looking at it as being more of a resistance zone. How are we going to climb through if we continue this upward trend? Is it going to be a big press through it? Are shorts just going to continue to phase out and new buyers step in and just swing right through this $5 gap right here, or are we slowly going to work our way through it? Ideally, I would say it's more healthy for us to slowly move through it, but a quick move could indicate that this is going to continue to go higher, and we could even end up, say, by the end of next week, we could be up here once again in these $80 price ranges. So again, now this is just my opinion, but I'm just stating what I'm seeing here on the chart. So again, we have this nice upward trend that is forming, that breakout of 58, pushing. Now we're in this channel between $62 and about $67.50. So if you were wanting to set up a trade, you could say, all right, I want to put in an order, say, at $62.50. Right, and if we break down below this upper trend line or this lower bound of this upward trend, then I'll have that be my stop loss. Or if we break down below, say $67 or $61 a share, or even $60.50, that you'll go ahead and cut losses. But you're wanting to ride this up here towards about 67. I would see that as being a reasonable trade, and from there, if we were to continue that momentum, we could end up, say, somewhere around $74 a share, and from there it could just keep rolling. I'm not saying this thing's going to infinity, but I'm saying the current trend that we have is very positive. And for me, I don't see a reason why we couldn't push towards $67 at some point this week. Now, with that being said, if news is released on MRNA, that is going to be something that is going to affect its price in a positive or a negative manner. If it comes out that, say, some trial results are basically useless, it's showing that the vaccine is not having any sort of effect on the virus, that could swing the entire chart and send us spiraling back down, similar to what we were seeing just over the past week to 2 weeks. So those are things that you need to keep in mind. Keep yourself informed with what is going on in the marketplace, and then specifically with the equities that you are trading. I hope this video was helpful to you guys and maybe gave you a different perspective from a different trader on support and resistance levels. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like or leave a comment on another stock that you would like to see me analyze, or if there are any ways that you think that I can make these videos better, I'm always up for some positive criticism. So with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one.